Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about how serotonin is able to alter appetite. I will also talk about how the serotonin system is being targeted for treating excessive eating disorders. 5-hydroxytryptamine, also known as serotonin, is an important neurotransmitter involved in a wide variety of cognitive functions. These include but are not limited to mood, sleep, and food seeking. Its function depends on the brain area where it's released and in what serotonin receptors that it activates. Scientists have been interested in targeting the serotonin system for its role in appetite regulation. The more overall serotonin there is in the brain, the lower appetite becomes. This decreased appetite can be experienced as a side effect in people taking serotonin elevating drugs for anxiety or mood disorders. In trying to exploit the ability of serotonin to decrease appetite, a serotonin releasing drug called fenfluramine was successfully sold as a weight loss drug. However, given the diverse functions of the serotonin system, this led to many side effects. In the case of fenfluramine, activation of serotonin receptors in the heart led to heart valve disease. Because of this, scientists are trying to identify specific brain areas and specific receptors that serotonin acts on to decrease appetite. In this way, more specific drugs can be developed that reduce appetite while avoiding unwanted side effects. Serotonin is made by neurons in the brain called the raphe nuclei. Neurons in the raphe nuclei have long axonal extensions that reach virtually every other region of the brain. The primary region where serotonin is able to modulate appetite is a region called the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is the brain region involved in controlling food intake. In this video, I will describe how drugs that elevate serotonin alters activity in the hypothalamus in a way that reduces food intake. Before I describe how serotonin alters feeding, I will first describe how feeding is regulated by the hypothalamus. Within the hypothalamus is a subregion called the arcuate nucleus. The arcuate nucleus contains cells that can promote hunger as well as cells that can inhibit hunger. The cells that promote hunger are called AGRP neurons, and cells that inhibit hunger are called POMC neurons. When your stomach is empty, it begins to secrete a hormone called ghrelin into your blood. This hormone then travels to your brain where it activates the hunger-promoting AGRP neurons. As you eat, your stomach grows and mechanoreceptors detect this and begin to inhibit ghrelin release. This results in reduced activation of the hunger-promoting AGRP neurons. At the same time, eating food also promotes energy storage in the form of fat. When fat cells detect this increase in fat stores, they begin to release the hormone leptin. Leptin then travels to the brain and activates the hunger-suppressing POMC neurons. The combined effect of reduced AGRP and enhanced POMC neuron activity results in a reduction in appetite. So how does serotonin alter appetite? Serotonin does this by activating a subset of serotonin receptors in the arcuate nucleus. There are 14 different kinds of serotonin receptors. 2 of these receptors have been shown to reduce appetite and are found in the arcuate nucleus. Those receptors are the 5-HT1B and 5-HT2C receptors. Activation of 5-HT1B produces inhibition, while activation of 5-HT2C produces excitation in neurons that express them. The 5-HT1B receptor is found on hunger-promoting AGRP neurons. As a result, when serotonin is present in the arcuate nucleus, it will bind to the 5-HT1B receptor, which will inhibit the hunger-promoting AGRP neurons. Meanwhile, 5-HT2C is found on hunger-suppressing POMC neurons. When serotonin binds to 5-HT2C, this activates the hunger-suppressing POMC neurons. The combined effect of serotonin on both AGRP and POMC neurons in the arcuate nucleus leads to a dramatic reduction in feeding behavior. In summary, drugs that elevate serotonin cause decreases in appetite. An important brain area mediating this effect is the arcuate nucleus of the hypothalamus. Serotonin decreases the activity of hunger-promoting AGRP neurons by binding to 5-HT1B, which inhibits these neurons. At the same time, serotonin also enhances the activation of hunger-suppressing POMC neurons by binding to 5-HT2C, which activates these neurons. Given the identification of these receptors for their role in food intake, drugs that bind these receptors are being studied for their potential to treat obesity with fewer side effects. Unfortunately, 5-HT1B is not a good candidate. This is because it is also found in the heart where it can regulate beating. To avoid cardiovascular side effects, Scientists instead developed a drug that preferentially activates 5-HT2C called Lorcanserin. In clinical trials, Lorcanserin was successfully able to reduce body weight in obese subjects with few side effects. This highlights how drugs with more specific sites of action can lead to better treatment outcomes. Thank you for watching. You can find sources to all the things that I discussed in this video in the description down below.